Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday morning, August 2nd. We are looking at window traders' market profile of the ES and NQ. So after ES and NQ, each having one of their largest ranges of all time that really occurred on a non-event type of day, right? No COVID, no financial crisis. Pretty interesting when you think about it. I mean, a lot of times after the Fed, the market on that Thursday does digest the news. Well, if that's what was the case yesterday, they certainly didn't digest it in a very positive light. The good news was, before this morning so far, we were still basically in balance on the daily and up on the monthly. Now, you do have non-farm payroll coming out in about 15 minutes. So things can change. However, we're in danger of putting the monthly back to balance, the daily down, and the weekly is already down. So things a little bit changing. Now the volume, just like on the way up, so far on the way down, has not been impressive at all either. I mean, when you have a range of almost $15.50 in ES and almost 20 in NQ, that volume did not impress me, okay? We will recap all of these charts tonight. Now, a lot of things can change come 8:30, but I do these videos early because I have other duties to attend to. We'll see if we gap lower. Gaps lower this year have held 50% of the time. So they've definitely held so far this year. Possibility of taking out yesterday's low, last week's low. I'm sorry, not last week's low. This week's low so far, and more importantly, the most important one is the monthly low, okay, of 32.50. If we do that, monthly's back to balance. Not the end of the world. Remember, we went over the charts yesterday, and on the monthly in ES, very healthy, right? We came into balance a couple of months ago. But for the most part, we've been nothing but straight up. The other thing to keep in mind, these past 2 years, 2023 and 2024, the low of the year last year was the first trading day. The low of the year this year is like the third or fourth trading day. So the market's been very healthy. So for the bears to really start getting my attention, not only do they have to come into balance on the monthly, well, then eventually they need to come out of it to the downside. Then you could say maybe some major things are changing. So we'll keep an eye on that. The game plan's going to change tremendously come 8:30 and then 9:30 because of the non-farm payroll. So to go over it, kind of silly. I mean, look where our overnight lows are. It just shows you, though, who is in control. Look how mechanical it is. Look at the daily low in ES. It's right above the weekly low of June 14th and before the gap. Okay, look at NQ. Right to a 9-wide point of control from June 4th. Now, we are in danger of giving back all of June and July, especially in NQ, so we'll see. Now, if this happens to be the overnight low, especially in ES, the first time that would be a good risk reward and then out inside the gap because you're not going to hold it to see if they hold that gap. NQ, I don't know if I would lean as much on just a 9-wide point of control. But again, they have a penchant for front-running overnight highs and lows. If we do get the overnight lows sooner rather than later, I would certainly just be looking for shorts then, okay? Because right now, as of right now, value, gap, indices in favor of the bears. Now, keep in mind, yesterday morning, gap, not gap. Wait, was it a gap yesterday? I'm losing my mind. No, not a gap. We had the overnight. We had value, indices, and the overnight high in the bulls' favor. And boy, oh boy, did that go away. So you always have to monitor for huge change on our checklist sheet. As far as a short here, again, it depends. If we get the overnight low, then I would, on pushes up, certainly against the gap, things of that nature, I would be looking for shorts. But again, if you're in the trading room, you're going to see this, right? starting at 9:15 as we go over our game plan for both bulls and bears. Chart-wise, we'll recap everything tonight. So here's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we might come into balance if we take out last month's low, but just look at from November of last year, right? Well, really December. November came into balance because we were down. December went up, basically up all year, balance, never went bear, up, and now if we take out last month's low, balance. So we have not been bear on the monthly chart since September, the month of September of 2022. Well, I take that back. That's not true. September 2022 was one here. We went balance up, balance down, bear. So October of 2023 was the last time we were bear on the monthly. It lasted 1 month. November came back into balance. Even here, we went bear in September of 2022. It lasted 2 months. November came back into balance. So any attempt to even go bear on the longest time frame, and you can look at this over the years, how bullish this market has been. Anytime you went bear, it didn't last long, right? Even the pandemic, it lasted a couple of months. So bears are really going to have to prove on the longer term time frame chart that they're really serious, possibly about pushing this market lower. The weekly's already down, so we'll be taking out last week's low. We're continuing down, and the daily is going to be coming out of a 7-day balance, possibly to the downside. And remember, we did have an outside day down. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. Good luck trading today, and we'll recap the day and the week at 4 p.m.